All right, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're talking about a new folding lock from my friends over at Hiplok. But before we get into today's video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content on this channel. So like I said, today we're looking at a brand new folding lock from our friends over at Hiplok. And in this case, this is the Switch 105. So it's been a while since I reviewed a folding lock. So let's just kind of talk basics of what the deal with a folding lock is. So for a folding lock, biggest things for it is compact in size. In general, it's pretty lightweight. And it's really easy to carry with you, whether that's on you or on the bike. Really easy to carry with you wherever you are because it doesn't take up a ton of space. And you get this much of a lock right there for it only taking up that much space on your bike or in your bag or wherever it is. Pretty small lock for what you get. It's kind of the big deal with them. They kind of offer the best of kind of a cable lock and a U-lock together, or a D-lock together. They have the flexibility and the reach of a cable lock, but they have the solid construction of a U-lock versus kind of just a regular cable you could cut. So a little bit stronger of a lock here. I've really liked the folding lock I've had, and this one's even better, and we're here to tell you why. So the Switch 105. So first off, the 105, that's 105 centimeters. That's how much locking distance there is in that circle shape, whatever you want to call it right there, that you can lock around your bike, put it around your head, whatever you want to do with it. That's how much room you have, which is a pretty decent one. With the Switch, it also is slightly bigger and slightly longer than some of the just normal ones you have. So this case is a Switch 105, and right here we have my current folding lock right here. And if we look at the length of them, you can tell if we line those suckers up, the Switch 105 is quite a bit longer. It's actually got a couple, probably what is that, like an inch maybe on it, on each single folding portion. So that's pretty solid for it to go with. Along with that, the Switch 105 does have, I feel like, a slimmer profile too than at least the one I've been using. You can tell if you look at the two of them, it's all kind of one single size all the way through, versus the one I've been using kind of has this bulge in the locking area right here. So it's pretty it's even more compact, I feel like, just because it's all one size. You can slip this guy wherever you want to put it. Now, mounting these guys. So like I said, it's something you can throw on your bike, real easy, mount it, and not even have to worry about it. So with the Switch 105s, it comes with a mount right down here. So in this case, I have this mounted on my gravel bike, right down here on the down tube on the bottom. Now the nice thing is it uses bottle cage mounts. So pretty much anywhere you have a bottle cage mount, you can mount that, you can mount this lock to it. So you can swap out a bottle cage, you can use a mount up here, you can use a mount down here. If you got fork mounts on your bike, you can mount them on the fork. Kind of all sorts of different options out there where you can mount it just because it uses bottle cage bolts. Really simple. And then once you have that mounted, you just go ahead. This guy just slops right in there and you're set to take it with you on your ride. And you'll just forget it's there because it's on the bottom of your bike. Why would you notice it was there? Nothing you would see. Until you get to where you're going, then you just grab your lock, pull it right out, lock up your bike from there. Kind of neat, right? Kind of a cool design. Now, I will say, some of us only have two bottle cages, or maybe only one bottle cage mount. And you go, whew, I don't want to take up a bottle cage mount for my lock. That's kind of a pain, right? Because then I can only carry one water bottle, or I can only carry no water bottles if I use my lock on it. So what do I do? You know, if I want to go on a longer ride, not carry my lock, I'm just stuck with it on there. I have to remove it. I have to unbolt it and bolt my bottle cage again. And that's just a pain. Why would I want to do that? So the nice thing with the Switch 105 is that Switch name in there. So the Switch, what that allows you to do is you can push this little yellow tab here. You just push that in towards the lock, and this whole mount pops off. Just like that, and you're left with just the mount that's attached to your bike right down here. And that's attached, bolted into the frame into those bottle cage bolts. So you have your lock right here. You can keep this with you. You can throw it in your bag. You can leave it at home. Whatever you need to do. You can set that off to the side. With the Switch 105, it comes with an adapter. And this adapter allows you to mount a bottle cage onto this adapter, which then, just as easily as a lock, just slips right in, clicks into place. And now you have a bottle cage on your bike. Really easy. In my case, I'll probably go with a smaller bottle because, well, there's maybe like a millimeter of clearance there. So I wouldn't recommend this setup. I wouldn't recommend this bottle for this setup, but it just depends on bike to bike. So really kind of cool. You can swap out a bottle cage for your lock. And then once you're all set, this one's kind of more incognito. It's got just a black lever. You push that up towards the bottle, and it just pops right out, ready to go. You have this, you can just set off to the side. Then you need to go lock your bike again. You just get your lock, and it just slides right in there, clips into place, nice and secure. And so one of my thoughts was, oh, this might be a little loose, you know, with the different, you know, with the different switch methods, you know, with it being kind of two separate pieces, it might be kind of loose. So I mean, if we grab this mount, it moves a little. And especially when you move the lock, it moves just a hair. Just a hair. Honestly, not as much as I would think it would move for it being separate. And if we take this off and we throw the bottle cage on here, see how much the bottle cage moves. So the bottle cage has a little bit tighter of a fit, I feel like. And it does, because just because of the design it has. It keeps all of the weight a little more central versus spreading it out through the lock. So the bottle cage mount is really, I feel like that's really in there. Like that, like they're not popping out. End of story. They're not popping out of here. So especially the bottle cage just takes a second to, you got to push down pretty good on this to get it to pop out. And then you just pop this sucker right back in here. There we go. Honestly, pretty easy to use. And like I said, you can swap this out. So shorter ride and you want a lock, put your lock on there. You're going on a long weekend ride and you don't need your lock, swap it out for an extra water bottle cage. You have both options available to you for whatever you want to do. That's pretty neat. That's a really cool setup there. So let's talk more about the lock itself here. Pretty much all these folding locks have just a key, goes into the hole, you know, just like any other standard lock, slides in there. You just turn that, and then the lock comes apart from there. And then you can wrap it around, whatever you're going to wrap it around, slide it back in, and then you just lock the key. In this case, just a quarter turn, locks it up, and it's set to go. Now, one thing I didn't notice, I haven't noticed on the folding locks before, is how they come apart and how they latch together. In the case of this Hiplok, the locking tab that you slide it into is actually on the bottom side, so the inside side of this. What that means is once this is locked in here, to get this to unlock itself, especially if it's around a bike like it normally would, you would have to push it towards itself to get it to unlock. You have to push this lock in, which most of the time these are going to be attached to something else. These are like your frame and your tire here. And you're not really going to be able to push this in very well. Versus the lock I've been using, my other folding lock that I've been using, this one has the lock on the side. So what that does is, if we have this locked up like this, all they need to do, pretty much to unlock this, you just need to push it away from itself. You're prying this part away, is what you have to do to get this thing to unlock. So it's a little bit different. I kind of like the security on the Hiplok. I think that's really nice. Honestly, something I didn't notice until I tried the Hiplok out. And I went, that's actually a really good design element right there with the way they have that hole faced. So you can't just pry it apart. You have to pry it into itself and try and squeeze it together to bust that lock and to get it unlocked. So the Switch 105, so it has a bronze rating under the Sold Secure, and they rate it as a medium security level. So what does a bronze rating even mean? Like I mentioned in another video, I've never looked at what that actually means in the sense of a bike lock. What does that mean in protection-wise? So what Sold Secure says for a bronze is typically includes a lighter weight, less robust product, such as cable locks and folding locks. They immobilize your bike and stop an opportunistic thief from walking away with it, but won't withstand a determined attack from an experienced bike thief. Good option for cafe stop or quick stop in a high traffic area where you're able to keep an eye on your bike. Not suitable for long periods, quieter areas, or overnight use in public spaces. So, pretty much helps to keep honest people honest. Is kind of what these locks are for. And that's kind of what I agree with. It's to keep honest people honest. You know, I wouldn't consider this a super high security lock. However, it would be a nice lock just to use if you're, you know, like I said, hitting a restaurant, have to stop in the middle of your ride, throw this guy around there while you have your eye on it while you're getting some food. You'll be fine. It's not going to have an issue with that. Now, I can already hear some of you guys. It's not a lock review if he doesn't break the lock or try and pick it or anything like that. Well, I'll tell you what. Hiplok's already done that for me. Hiplok has done that for all their products. You can go on Hiplok's website. They have shown that they have done that and at what level these things can lock to you. Not something I want to do with this. Honestly, bike locks are bike locks. Bike locks do what they need to do. They secure your bike. They secure your bike in the conditions they are designed for. Biggest thing there. If you use a weak lock in an area that needed a high security lock, it's possible your bike's going to be there. It's possible it's not going to be there. If you use a high security lock in a high security area, more likely it's going to be there. You use this folding lock in an area where, yeah, you can keep an eye on it. There's lots of people around. You don't have to, and you're kind of have an eye on your bike the whole time. just kind of keeps people on, keeps honest people honest, my way of saying that. So I really like these folding locks just because they're really good for just being small, taking up very little space, having great mounts onto the bikes here. I still have my folding lock mount. My other one is mounted onto one of my bikes still because I love the way the lock works because it's just so simple to use. And that's kind of the big thing with them. They're simple to use while still having a decent amount of strength for a bike lock. So if you guys are interested in checking out the Hiplok Switch 105 or any of other Hiplok's locks, there's going to be a link in the description down below. Check them out, give them some love. If you guys enjoyed the video or maybe you learned something new today, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love talking to you guys. I love answering questions you guys have. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.